You're listening to ABC News.
It's every parent's worst nightmare, a child who dies suddenly and without explanation. SIDS is still on a yearly basis sending parents of more than 100 Australian babies down a path of darkness, a path many are unable to find a way back from. Jenny McGregor sadly knows that pain all too well when in 2010 her 18-month-old baby boy Jamie died from an illness there's still no explanation for. The 33-year-old resides in Sydney's Northern Beaches and has launched a Kickstarter campaign to record an album specifically for bereaved parents to start the healing process. Something she says she desperately needed at the time, but it just wasn't there. Apart from being a talented musician, Jenny McGregor also works as a clown doctor and has been sharing her story with ABC News on Radio's Chris Glassig.
Well, Jenny McGregor, thanks for talking to us. You've said that this is a cause and a tribute to your son, Jamie, so I guess it's only fitting that we start there. Can you explain to us who Jamie was and what made him a special little boy?
Yeah, well, thank you for having me, firstly. But Jamie was my beautiful little boy, my first son. I think anyone out there that's a parent knows how special it is when you have your first child. But unfortunately, tragically, he passed away in 2010, very suddenly and also unexpectedly. We didn't know it was coming, so it's still classed as SIDS death. We don't really know why he did pass away. So, it was a tragic and devastating time for us, and his memory still lives on, and he's forever a part of our family, which is why I have been working on this project that we're talking about.
So just thinking back to those days, Jenny, you've come to the realisation that probably more needs to be done as far as the parents are dealing. Just take us through what the grief process was for you and some of the steps and why music has been part of that.
Yeah, sure. Well, obviously when I went through this, it just felt like I was completely isolated and alone. It's not really something that's openly talked about, I don't think. It's not really a topic. I think it's still quite a taboo topic to talk about, especially the loss of a child. I work as a clown doctor in Sydney's hospitals, major hospitals, and I see firsthand that unfortunately it's not a rare thing to lose a child. It's happening every week, and it's devastating and it's shocking, especially when you're thrown in that position but you feel like you're all alone. That was the hardest part, I think. Just, you're still surrounded by all your friends and family and people out there at the parks, all with their children, parading their prams around or their baby bumps, and you're just stuck there thinking, well, why me? It's just so shocking. And also, it really did feel for me like my life was over. I mean, I have never said that I don't think I've ever said that in my life. You can always feel like there's some sort of ray of hope, like you're actually going to get through. But this was the first time in my life where I actually thought, I don't know if I can continue on from this. The pain was too much, and I just couldn't see any light in the midst of the darkness that was happening. So that was the other part I felt like I needed, was a sense of hope. And I desperately wanted to connect with other people that had been through it, and just to see that there was a ray of hope. I'm
interested in your work as a clown doctor, which is of course about making kids laugh, and while they're trying to deal with their battles. I want to talk to you about laughter. Was that one of the hardest things you struggled with, allowing yourself that joy again, that laughter again?
Absolutely. Good question. Yeah, I really remember it strongly the first time I laughed, actually. And it was my mum telling a story. I won't go into the story, but she was telling a funny story that I'd never heard about me as a child doing something ridiculous. And we're talking probably weeks after Jamie died, so, still in the real depths of despair. Such a horrible place to be. It really is. It's just, to have no hope, it's just like, what's the point? What's the point in getting up in the morning or doing anything? So, but laughter, laughter is sort of the essence, I think, of life. It's joy. It's that peace of mind. So, absolutely. I felt like laughter was a real key moment for me when I recognised that I had a really good belly giggle, I think almost in tears with laughter, and I had recognised it. And I still remember the first photo that was taken as well after after Jamie died, and I still remember it whenever I see it on the computer, where I smiled. But I was actually genuinely smiling. I was with two family members, and it was a smile, and I thought, wow, like, just looking at that, I thought, gosh, there I am. I'm actually smiling, and I've been through this, but it's come from, deep in my gut that I actually felt like smiling, and that was quite a poignant moment for me.
Well, it's all culminated in a campaign to record an album, a quality album, as a gift to bereaved parents. But the clock is ticking, I suppose.
Yeah, on the 20th of July, I launched a campaign with the aim of raising $25,000 to professionally produce this album. There's a lot of costs involved. It's quite a costly process with, I want various professional musicians in there. I want it to be a really special, beautiful, beautiful album and a gift for other bereaved parents. I'm sort of halfway through my Kickstarter campaign. I've got 2 weeks to go. I'm at about $13,000 at the moment. But unfortunately, the kicker is, pardon the pun, that I've got 2 weeks left, and if I don't raise the funds by the 18th of August, I don't receive a penny. So you have to make your target, otherwise you don't get any of the funding.
Well, Jenny, we wish you well and luck with the campaign. And your campaign has been helped by butterflies, of all creatures. Can you explain the butterfly link to us?
Yeah, it is. Well, butterflies, it was a strange old thing. They came to visit a lot after Jamie died, and they still do. Literally days after he died, just butterflies were just everywhere. But they wouldn't just be flying past. They would land on me or on my husband, or they would land right in front of us, or they'd be like fluttering your face and just constantly. And it would always be just when you were thinking about Jamie, or when I'd be thinking about some memories of him, or just having thoughts about what had happened. They'd always come past, and every time they did, I just sort of felt some sort of comfort. It felt like they were, I don't know, whether it was a little message from him, or maybe I was just telling myself stories, but I think I needed to at that time. So I sort of like to believe in the fact that these butterflies were more than just a coincidence of something beautiful coming and sharing the space with you for a moment. It felt like it was more of a sign. Is that why you came? Is that why? A little bird to fly.
The album by Sydney musician Jenny McGregor will be called Love and Let Go. And if you'd like to help out, you can find out more details about her campaign at jennymcgregor.com. She was there speaking to ABC News on Radio's Chris Classic. Sarah Hall with you here on ABC News. Australian Eastern Standard Time is 11:30. In the centre, it's 11 o'clock, and in WA, it's 9:30.